Life speaks. It speaks through struggles and success, through music and messages, the preconceived and the unexpected. Whether you are in the depths of the valley or in the midst of your mountaintop experience, everyone needs to be encouraged from time to time. Here we will share stories of strength, testimonies of triumph, verses of victory, observations, and information meant to touch the heart and uplift the soul, to keep you on your path of purpose and navigate this thing called life with power and authority. This is Andrea L. Hines, and I'm your host for When Life Speaks, here on ALH Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Streaming Inspirational Broadcast Network. I am glad you accepted the invitation to join us tonight. There's something in this broadcast just for you, and if it is going to be a blessing to your life, it will be to someone else as well. So share, tag, start a watch party, and invite someone you know to join us. Then turn down the volume of life and get ready to receive, so that when life speaks, you'll speak life. Well, good evening, and welcome to When Life Speaks. You are joining us here on ALH Broadcasting. We are part of the Streaming Inspirational Broadcast Network, and I am grateful that you have chosen to be with us tonight. You know, you could be doing any number of things, but I hope that you have decided to just turn down the volume of life for just a little bit and be ready to receive and see what we've got going on here at When Life Speaks. So I welcome you. Tonight. We have a special guest with us tonight. I'm excited that she is going to be on the program. She's a lovely woman of God, and she is doing some amazing things, and you just need to get to know her. You need to get to know her. So I'm glad that I can bring her on tonight, and she's going to share some things with us. And she's got a story of strength, a testimony of triumph, and she has many irons in the fire, and she's going to share those with us tonight. So I'm glad that you are with us. Be sure to share the program. Be sure to share it. If you are not able to see it live, you know we replay on Saturdays at noon. When Life Speaks comes on again at noon on Saturday. So if you miss our live broadcast tonight, you can always come back and enjoy it a little bit later. So let me just tell you what's going on here at When Life Speaks. First of all, if you have not signed up for your When Life Speaks newsletter, be sure that you do that. There is a bit.ly link for it, and I might be able to put it up before the end of the day, but if not, just go to ALH Broadcasting on Facebook. We posted it the other day so that you will be sure to get your newsletter and know what we've got going on and what is happening and what some of our topics and guests are going to be in the future. And let me let you know now that we will have another prayer program coming up. We are preparing it now. If you want to be a part of that, look, let me tell you what you can do. If you want to be a part of that, if you want to be a guest host, if you have a story that you want to tell, that you know that your testimony is going to be uplifting and encouraging and help somebody, I want to hear from you. So be sure to send me an email at speaklifewithandrea@gmail.com. That's speaklifewithandrea@gmail.com. And let's explore the possibilities. And you know, in addition to that, we have our village. If you want to be a part of the village, Village, be sure and let me know that as well. Those are our consistent listeners that like to come on, and they don't necessarily want to come on the air and speak, but they want to weigh in on some of the topics that we have. So we're going to be going into our series of blessing blockers. We're going to be talking about blessing blockers and how to stay out of those places. That's going to be coming up soon later on this month. And we're going to talk about anger and bitterness and unforgiveness and those kinds of things that can weigh us down and block our blessings. And that is something that we don't want to happen. Good evening there, Ruth. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Good to have you on this evening. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about our guest that we have tonight. Her name is Trelyn Usry. And Trelyn grew up in Augusta, Georgia, where she attended Payne College and earned her BA degree in communications. She earned her master's degree in education from Ashford University in Clinton, Iowa. She also studied directing for film and television at Regent University in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Trelyn worked as a classroom teacher for 10 years, and for the past 4 years, she has successfully hosted summer reading and performing arts programs for grades K through 5. Her main objective has been to strengthen literacy skills, provide reading remediation, build self-esteem, and create counterattacks for bullying. Her desire to see children learn, blossom, and grow prompted her to direct her talents toward them as her audience. I'm not going to tell you about her children's book. She's going to tell you about that when she comes on. She's going to tell you about some challenges that she's had along her life's journey. But I tell you what, she has come out victorious, and we cannot wait to hear about it. But we're going to take a break of the breath right here, and we are going to just let you relax a little bit more. And when we come back, I will introduce you to Miss Trelyn D. Usry. There she is. There she is. Hey, Trelyn. How
Hey,
are
everybody.
you? So glad to see your beautiful face this evening. Glad to see you.
Ding.
I know we've got some folks who are on there hiding in the background, and I encourage them to come in, make some comments, put some hearts up so that we know who they are and we can welcome them properly to the program tonight. But I tell you what, Trelyn, have you had a good day today? Let's start there.
I promise I have. It's been
Good.
filled with tutoring and exciting PT, physical therapy.
All right.
See the
All
excitement
right.
on my face?
Yes, got to get that PT in. That's important, important, important. And we're
Right.
going to be able to share with the listeners what that's all about and why that is so important. But Trelyn has written, I say 12 publications, because she has written books, and then she has coloring books, and she has activity books, and just all manner of things. She has that going on. She is a spoken word treasure. I just
Aw.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Trelyn does amazing spoken word, and it is just, I think a lot of that is just birthed out of her ability to write and her ability to put a story across to people. And I'm so happy that I have had the opportunity to be with her on platforms and enjoy her as well as someone that's in the audience. But Trelyn, tell us a little bit about, because there are three things that I said I really wanted you to focus in on. I wanted you to talk about some of your publications, if you have a favorite. You know, I have a favorite. I'll tell you about my.
Of course, we do.
But tell us a little bit about your publications, because I know that they are geared towards topics that are troubling topics for children and adults in some cases. But I want you to talk a little bit about your books, and we're going to transition from that into your challenge, your testimony, your health challenge, because a lot of these books were written, these publications were written, we discovered, in the midst of the challenges that you were having. So
Absolutely.
you know, we've been talking about tenacity, and we've been talking about don't quit, and we've been talking about things like that. And let me share with you, listeners, Trelyn has had a journey, but it is not a journey that stopped her by any stretch of the imagination. And then before we get off the air, she's got some exciting news that she is going to share with us tonight. And we're going to pretend it's a you heard it here first moment, because we like doing that kind of thing.
I love it. I can pretend to.
So we're going to do that tonight. Carmela, good evening to you. Angie O, good evening to you as well. Veronica, good evening to you. Glad to have you in the house tonight as well. So tell us
Hey.
about your books. What was the first one that you wrote? Because I don't think the first one you did was a children's book.
No, the first one was the book of poetry, which is
Okay.
aesthetically audibly me.
Mm-hmm.
And your grandson calls it aesthetically. It's the funniest thing in the world. I love it. But aesthetically audibly me was my book about creating visual images of God so that others can, because you know sometimes people don't read a Bible,
Right.
but they will ascribe to aesthetics. They will look for something they can see. So that was the purpose of aesthetically audibly me.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
was the first one. It was birthed out of the fact that I had just learned that I knew how to write poetry. I didn't know before I wrote aesthetically audibly me that I could write poetry.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Virginia Beach, and I was in my apartment, and I was just, thinking about what happened when I used to work for the 700 Club. And
Okay.
while I was in there one day, there was worship was mandatory. Like you had to go to worship. And there was my first experience where every ethnicity was worshiping together. And every person, like people from Africa, people from Germany, men, women, older, younger, everybody. And it was amazing to me because nobody was in a space of, I'm better than you, I'm
Mm-hmm.
higher ranking than you. It was none of that. It was everybody there for the purpose of worshiping Jesus. So it was amazing. And I came out of that experience saying, how can I bottle this up? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to share it with everybody I know. So I
Mm-hmm.
was in my apartment and I just started thinking about the best date ever. Like how it would be if you went out with the best date, like a man who really made you excited, who did everything possible. Like I was thinking about talking to my best girlfriend, like, girl, have you ever had a man to do this? Have you ever had a man to That's why I was thinking of this experience, like a have you ever moment. And
Mm-hmm.
in 7 minutes, the first poem I ever wrote came out called Have You Ever, from that experience. And then Have You Ever blossomed into the book, Aesthetically Audibly Me.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. That's amazing. And
I
I've
know,
heard,
right?
I've read it. I've read it. I had the opportunity to read it, and I've had the opportunity to listen to you speak those words, and it's phenomenal. It's amazing. Everybody can't put you in that space. and I'm always in awe of people who are able to take that written word and put you in that space, and you're able to do that. I asked you about another book that you had written, and I want you to tell us about that one. See if I can find. I survived an assassination attempt.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that one.
So that book is all about the devil's attempts to take me out, and there have been many. One of them was when I was 18. I thought about and walked out of my granny's house to commit suicide. I wanted to die. And I went out the door to go stand in front of an 18-wheeler truck. And then I had a challenge with multiple sclerosis when I was diagnosed in 2018, and it tried to take me out. And I started reading this book by Joshua Giles. And in the book, it talks about how the enemy's job is to come after your purpose. His assignment is to assassinate your purpose. And he does everything possible. And I thought about it like the Bible calls us royal priest, and assassination attempts are on prominent people.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the scripture, we are prominent people. We are royal priests. We are prominent. So when he comes after us, and that's just not just me, that's all of us who are in the body of Christ, it's an assassination attempt. He's
Mm-hmm.
attempting to kill us all to get rid of our purpose. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what that book is all about. It's about the enemy's multiple attempts to try to assassinate me, to take me out of here. But
Mm-hmm.
clearly he didn't win.
He did not
I
win.
survived an assassination attempt.
You
Or
did.
two.
You know,
Or three.
he comes to kill, to steal, to destroy. And sometimes we forget that. Sometimes
Yep.
we forget that. I also, when you were talking about that and talking about that book in particular, we have a tendency to look at other people and think im- immediately, particularly if they are in the public eye at any level, at any level, that they got it.
Right.
They got it going on. They don't have struggles, and you see people, and sometimes when you try to help them, they will come back to you with, but you don't know. You don't know what I've been through. You don't
That
know
part.
what I have to deal with. You don't know what's going on in my life. And while that may be true, I may not know, but this I know, he's after you. He's after you just like he's after me, because you have purpose, because there is something that God has put in you that he wants to use in the earth. And it doesn't matter how high you go, doesn't matter how low you go. He knows if you wake up every day, God has something for you to do. And if he can
Hmm.
help you abort it, because a lot of it is self-sabotage,
I promise.
then that's exactly what he's going to do. And then that takes me to another title that I want you to talk about, and that was how. How came with the book, and it came with a workbook, and how stands for How Overcomers Win. Now, when you talk about that, I want you to talk about your MS journey.
Okay.
Okay.
So, How Overcomers Win is a book that was birthed from the MS journey. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2018, and I was in my classroom. I was a kindergarten teacher, and I was in the best place ever. Like, I was in a spot of, oh my God, I get to teach these children. And this multiple sclerosis hit me, and it caused me to have to come out of my classroom because my mobility was being impeded. Um, it first started with a drag of my left foot, and then it morphed into a wheelchair where I could no longer get around. And my aunt came to North Carolina to get me and take me back to Georgia to take care of me, because I could no longer take. I was living on the third floor in an apartment.
Mm,
There was no way I could get up and down the steps unable to move. Like my mobility was completely thwarted. So with this MS journey, it not only affected me physically, but it affected me spiritually because I went through um, being upset with God. I went through anger. I went through, God, I gave you my life when I was 18. And why is this happening to me? I know people who are not serving you, who do not give you their all, and none of this is happening to them. So why is it happening to me? So I went through that. And the book How was my walk through understanding the journey. It
Mm-hmm.
was my way of, it was God ministering to me, showing me how overcomers win. This is how we get through it. This is how we walk through it. This is how we actually overcome. And it helped me to get out of that place of why me, to why not me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because through it, things have been birthed, like writing books,
Right.
like
Right.
learning how to publish myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do that before,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, beginning to start, on some of this journey with this film. It's just, I'm sorry, I'm
No,
not supposed
go
to
ahead.
book cry. But and I went to school. My first master's program was directing for film and television, and I went to school to make movies, and got thwarted, like got off track, and just almost lost the dream, like almost
Mhm.
walked away from the dream. This one of those assassinations again. And now the opportunity has opened since this MS journey, since this challenge, because I'm home, because I can hear, because I can focus, because I can spend time with God. The door has now opened for me to make my first feature length film.
Mhm. Mhm. Now, let me ask you something else, Trelyn. From the first symptom that you had
Uh-huh.
with MS, how long was that journey before you got to a place where you were actually uh, wheelchair bound?
That part was very quick, but it started in 2009. It was tingling and numbness on my legs, the bottom part of my legs. It lasted for 2 weeks and then it went away. And it didn't come back until 2014. And then it lasted for 2 weeks again and it went away. So in 2018, when it came, I thought this is going to be 2 weeks and it's going to be over.
Mhm.
But it was a matter of months that it continued and it morphed into the wheelchair.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
and even my doctors commented that the decline was quick,
Mhm.
that it doesn't normally, like, there's no normality for MS, let me say that. But they had not seen cases that morphed into the wheelchair, into disability as quickly as mine did.
Okay. And there was something that you explained to me the other day that I was not aware of, and I'm thinking some of our listeners may not be aware of as well. And we welcome Toronto and we welcome Spain into the
Hey,
tonight as well. But you were saying that there were different types of MS, which I was not aware of. So can you share that with the audience?
that I know of, there's two. There's relapsing and remitting, and there's progressive. Relapsing and remitting, of course, as it says, relapse and remit. It comes and it goes. And then there's progressive, and that's the kind that is very aggressive, is progressive, and is very aggressive. And that particular type usually costs people their life,
Mm-hmm.
usually takes people out of here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they end up immobile really quickly and unable to care for themselves completely.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you this as well, because a lot of times, whether it is a sickness, some type of illness, whether it is grief, whether it is loss, or any of those things, as difficult as it is for the individual, who is going through those issues or those challenges. It is equally difficult for those who love them, because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to say. Did you find that it was difficult interacting with people who loved you and knew you as the vibrant you who was, just on stage going, doing, and all of that? Help
Yes.
us to be able to help those who watch the journey. You know what I'm saying? Am I
Yeah.
making sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had family members who were unable to come and see me or unable to watch. I did lives on Facebook. They were unable to watch them because it caused them to cry. Like they could not process that something like that was happening to me, who
Mm-hmm.
they knew was vibrant and alive and, active and, here, there, and yonder. Um, and a lot of them stopped talking to me, not rejecting me, not, I don't want to talk to you ever again, but I can't handle it, so I won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that they would have talked to me and not just walked away from me. Like, I feel like it would have helped some to have them in my corner, but I understood though,
Mm-hmm.
because just like they didn't have words to articulate it, neither did I.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to process it. Like it was Greek to me. It was brand new. It was a new life, a new like one of my coworkers created a GoFundMe for me, and the title of it was Her New Reality.
Mm-hmm.
And it really was my new reality. It was what I was processing, and I was figuring it out and learning it as I went. So for people who walked away from me, I gave them that grace, if that makes sense. I
Yes.
gave them the grace to just process it the best way they knew how. And when they were able to visit me and
Mm-hmm.
able to talk to me and able to share with me, hey, I couldn't walk through it. I couldn't process it. It was too hard for me. I cried every time I saw your face. I cried every time I heard. I cried. I cried. And so I think on both ends, grace is what's needed
Mm-hmm.
for the
Mm-hmm.
person going through it, as
Mm-hmm.
well as the people experiencing them going through it, because it's
Mm-hmm.
an experience for everybody.
Yes.
Everybody is experiencing it.
Right.
And if those who are in it don't have grace for those who are watching and a part in seeing it, then it could push them away permanently or cause them to walk away from God completely, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's important that everybody involved allow grace to do the work. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, 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 you did. You did. Because a lot of us go through that. We want to do something, but we don't know what the something is. We want to
Right.
say something, but we don't know what that is. We're not sure what that looks like. And I think the other part is you're talking about having grace for those moments is for us to understand that in that grace and with that patience, that comes patience, but there also has to be a willingness to communicate, regardless of the
That
risk,
part.
because you can try to communicate and it may not be the right communication day, because
Yeah.
sometimes people don't always want to talk, but they want to know that you're there. They want to know that they have that option. So yeah, absolutely, I do understand what you're saying, and I think it's going to help some other people who may be listening this evening as well. What was the turning point with that for you?
Um,
Because you look great, by the way. You just
I
be.
bathed, a little soap, a little water. No, but for me, my aunt was key in the turning, because my aunt would come into this bedroom, in my bedroom, and say, okay, this is the scripture for the day, and what is God saying to you about it? Now, mind you, I was upset with God, so I didn't want to talk to God or talk about God.
Mm-hmm.
So for someone to read a scripture to me, I was like, "Shut up! Like I don't want to hear it." And my
Mm-hmm.
aunt was not having it. She came in here with the scripture every day and said, "Okay, you hear God. You hear what God is saying. You have heard God before. Don't act like you don't hear him now. What is God saying?" And
Mm-hmm.
so with that, that spiritually was a turnaround for me. And
Mm-hmm.
then physically, the turnaround was a change in diet and supplementation. I was introduced by some wonderful people to a functional medicine doctor. And that functional medicine doctor taught me how to combat what I was experiencing with supplementation and with a new diet. And within a week of changing my supplementation, changing to supplementation because I wasn't taking supplements before, and changing my diet, I started walking again.
Mm-hmm.
Within 1 week of changing things, I
Mm-hmm.
started walking again.
Amen. Amen.
I
God be
promise
the
you that's
glory.
God.
Yes, 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 yes.
Boom.
Tell me about a little bit. I want to talk about my favorite little person, Nebby. We'll
Yes.
talk about Nebby a little bit and Sweet Jambalaya and what those two books, those two children's books are about. Um,
Your favorite book?
yeah,
Nebby, 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 Nebby,
I
Nebby.
love little Nebby. I think Nebby's so sweet. I love Nebby. Nebby has some challenges, but I love Nebby. And Nebby's got a coloring book too, so you know I love Nebby.
Yes. Nebby has a coloring book. Dun 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 dun. Oh, can you see it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Nebby has a coloring book.
Hmm.
And an activity book. Boom, boom, boom.
Ooh.
So Nebby is all about a little cloud that is unable to rain. Every cloud around him can produce rain, but Nebby is unable to produce rain. So he goes on a journey to try to figure out why. Why can he rain and how can he rain?
Hmm.
And I won't tell you the story. Cliffhanger, you got to get it to see it, to know it. But Nebby finds out why he
Hmm.
doesn't rain. And it's something that you would never guess. So you got to
Okay.
get the book.
Gotta
Yeah.
get the book. And if they want any of your books, Lynn, while we're talking about that, where can they get them?
You can get a copy on Amazon
Hmm.
or you can go to my website and get an autograph copy. So it's up
Okay.
to you.
Okay. And website? Tell us your
It
website.
is www.I as in igloo, D as in David, IOM-INC.org. That's idiominc.org.
Okay. All right. Okay. And tell us a little bit about Sweet Jambalaya.
Yes, sweet jambalaya. Let's see. Do I have it? Yes, I do. Sweet jambalaya. Dun, 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 dun. It's all about some students and their journey to fight against bullying. They are looking for a way to combat bullying. They have bullies in their school, which is something that we all experience. We all have experienced bullies, even as adults. The book was actually written because I was being bullied at work,
Mm,
and my students were being bullied as well. So I had to find a solution. And most bullies combat or fight against us because of some idiosyncrasy about us, something that's unique, something that's different, something about us that's actually something God created. God
mm,
made us unique and special and beautiful, all of
mm,
us.
mhm,
And if we learn to affirm those things within us, then the bully has no power. So Sweet Jambalaya was my combat against bullying. It's the
mm,
solution to bullying,
mhm,
which is self-realization and actualization and affirmation of who you are. That was a
mhm.
whole lot of words.
but,
Sorry.
but Sweet Jambalaya isn't. The characters are not people
Human.
characters.
They
And
are
that's
not.
what I loved about that. They're animal characters
They
and
are. I'm
uh,
sorry.
very well illustrated. Carmela says that these books make awesome birthday gifts. And you know what? She said birthday gifts, but you know, the holiday is coming up. We're always looking for something to give to the children. So this would be something great for them.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yep, got a
And
message to it.
Carmela got some books for her great niece. So that's
Oh,
how she knows
oh,
for her birthday.
she is speaking from experience.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that is wonderful. That's wonderful. I have my own copy. So
Of course you do.
I kept my copy.
And the fun part of Sweet Jambalaya is it's a long poem.
Yes,
So it
yes,
rhymes from
yes.
beginning to end. So it's easy, it's an easy read.
Yes, yes. And a wonderful read and a good message. A good message, a great message. You
I used to
mentioned
use it in my
going
classroom.
to what? What'd you say?
I was saying that I used to use the affirmation that's in the book in my classroom, and my
Yes.
students would say it every day.
Tell us what it is.
I am great. I am powerful. Nothing can stop me but me. I am infinite potential and insurmountable possibilities. I am not dumb. I am not ugly. I am not a mistake. I am, and I can show love. Show me your muscles.
All right. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, lady, you talked about having some background in education when it comes to films and television. I think you said uh,
Yes.
all of that's coming into play right now. So tell us what you are getting ready to do. I am so excited about this for you, lady. I really, really am. So share, share, share. Tell us, tell us, tell us.
You are not a mistake, Veronica. I agree. I am in the midst of filming my first movie.
Woohoo!
Dun, 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 dun. Where the cannons blowing.
Yeah, hearts out there, send them up,
Yes,
send them up.
yes, let's throw them up. The opportunity has presented itself where I am going to film my first movie, which is kind of super, like, amazing.
Yes,
Like,
ma'am. Yeah.
God do it. And he did it. And the way that I thought it was going to be done, I thought that I was going to go through some avenue to find somebody. It's right here. The avenue is right here. My best friend's brother owns a film company. He
Mm.
owns a media company. And he approached me and said, "Hey, sis, I know how to do this thing. Now let's just do it." And I said, "Whoa, wait, huh? What are we doing?" And he said, "I know you went to school to do movies. So let's do a movie." So that's how it happened. I
Mm.
did not approach him. He approached me. Is
Mhm.
that not God? God
Now,
do stuff like that.
now, when he approached you, did you already have something on the shelf? Or did you at that point sit down and say, okay, if I'm going to do this, what am I going to do this about?
I had several scripts, but I had not completed the one that I'm doing now.
Okay.
So they were collecting dust. And this story began some time ago, but I when he gave me that push, then I completed the script.
Hmm. Can you share with us a little bit about uh, the title, the story?
Are you kidding me?
What?
The movie is called Ebony and Ivory,
Hmm.
and it was birthed actually when I was in 5th grade because I had a best friend who was Caucasian. She was white, and of course I'm black. And I went to her house for a sleepover, and her father didn't know that I was black. And when he saw that I was black, he called her. I was coming up the driveway. He called her back into the house and told her there will be no niggas in my house.
Mm.
So he would not allow me to spend the night because I was black. And so the movie is about two little girls, one black and one white, who go through the journey of being best friends but fighting racism in the background.
Mm.
And with this fight, um, they find the girls find out, both of them find out together, that the father is secretly a member of the KKK.
Oh. Oh.
Right, right.
Oh.
But he's a member by default because his father was a member.
Okay.
And there's a twist in the story that I'm not going to tell you, but there's a background to him being a part of the KKK and dabbling with other races, even
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of that.
Okay.
It's a twist.
Okay. Okay.
Boom.
Well, Trelyn, what can we do uh, to help you, to support you? I know I've seen some things out there on Facebook and all, but what, if we want to be a part of this, if we want to, sometimes we see things after they're done, and we say, gee, I wish I had had an opportunity to support that somehow. If somebody wants to support this project, this film project of Ebony and Ivory, what is it? What do you need? What are your needs, and what can we do to help?
I need Jesus. No. Um, on
Don't,
top of
don't we
needing
all?
Jesus,
Don't we
yes,
all?
on top of needing Jesus, I need funding, I need
Mhm,
money
mhm,
to begin to get garner some things that are needed for the film, all this film
mhm.
stuff. And I need cast. I am in need of some folks, some parts in the movie that have not been filled. I got some cast, principal cast, but I don't have all that I need. So I need money and I need people.
Okay. Okay. Now for cast, if I wanted to be cast, or if I wanted to be, to participate from an acting perspective, what do I have to do? Do I need to send you a clip of something? Do I need to just contact you? What would the process be?
Contact me.
Okay.
Contact me. Contact. Did I say contact me?
You did?
Contact me.
Uh-huh. We can do
And
it.
we can talk about parts, and we can talk about the needs of the parts because they are multiple. So I can't say, send me a clip of you diving into a ditch when I need someone to be a teacher.
Mhm.
You understand? So I
Yeah.
contact me and we can discuss the parts that are needed.
Okay. Okay. And that contact is the same.
Yes, it is the same. You can either inbox me on Facebook, or you can inbox me, which is Messenger on Facebook, or you can message me on what you call it, Instagram, or you can send me an email, which is idiom IDIOMINC the number one at
Mhm,
gmail.com.
mhm. .com.
So either one.
Okay. And if and they can contact you and get the additional details if they want to make a donation and to help fund the project as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good.
Yes, ma'am.
Naturally, Lynn, you have there's so much that you are able to do there. You're so gifted in so many areas and so talented, and even in your journey you were encouraging others with the Black and White Chronicles, and I love that because we can come on social media and we can complain about other people. We can throw them under the bus. We can talk about what they shouldn't say and didn't do, and we can do all of that. But I think to to use our powers for good. Somebody said one, to be able to, in the midst of the struggle and in the midst of the trial, to be able to take that platform and encouraged somebody else through being honest and being transparent about your own journey is invaluable. And I think you have made probably more of a difference in people's lives than you even imagine. Uh,
Wow.
because it was like, like I said in the beginning, people never think anything is wrong.
Mhm.
Somebody is always watching our lives and saying, boy, if I could do that, you know, then I'd be okay. If I could do some this, I would be okay. But something else comes with this and that.
I promise.
There's another part of the story, there's another part of the journey. And when we're able to be transparent and share those things, it gives others hope. And sometimes we feel like that, well, not just we feel, but we are in some very hopeless situations. And to think that you had wanted at one point to take your life. Um, I don't know that many people know that I have had that same testimony, uh,
Wow.
wanting to take my life.
I did not
Because
know that.
people just know, and people don't, they just don't think that, they don't suspect that, they don't, they, unless we are courageous enough to tell them, uh, they would never know that. you know
Right.
and it's not always because we're wearing a mask or trying to hide. It is just because of the goodness and the grace and the mercy of the true and living God, that he changes us and molds us and shapes us, and allows us to evolve into people who look more like him, and
Mhm.
operate more like him. So I appreciate you trusting us enough to share some of your story tonight. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. And the time goes by so fast for us. We're already at our 45-minute mark. But is there anything that you in particular would like to share or tell our listeners before we go off the air?
How many minutes we got? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you go.
Um, the program is entitled When Life Speaks, and I think it is appropriate to say life speaks for us all. There are different things that are said and spoken and manifested, and when it speaks, we don't often know how to answer the voice. Like
Right.
when life speaks, we don't often know how to handle what it's saying. But you were foreordained by God to be able to answer the voice that speaks.
Mm,
Whatever life is saying, you were created to answer it. You
mhm,
were created to speak the solution, to be the solution. Everything that comes our way, this is what I've learned. Everything that has come my way has been because God has placed within me the solution.
mm,
Like the solution, whatever it is. Like if I'm a teacher and there's a challenge in teaching, there is the solution in me. If
mm,
I'm a mother and there's a challenge in mothering, there's a solution within us. Whatever life is speaking, whatever you're going through, whatever you're walking through, whatever you are doing, whatever you are being, you are the solution. And I found that out from experience.
mhm,
God has given me the solution to multiple sclerosis.
mm,
God has given me the solution to not being able to produce and make books on your own. There are different things that life has spoken, and God, no arrogance, no big headedness, just an understanding that the purpose of God is manifested through what life speaks. I
mm.
see it, I know it, I'm experiencing it because of what life is speaking. I hope I didn't say too much.
Amen. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I tell you what, listeners, if you didn't, if your best friend, your buddy, your ride or die didn't have an opportunity to hear this program that you were afforded the opportunity to listen to tonight, encourage them to go back. Encourage them to go to ALH Broadcasting. When Life Speaks is there, and like I said, it will re-air on Saturday at noon. There is always something that you can gain. There's always something to be learned. There's always something that will put you in a posture to receive, because that's one of our problems too. We don't know how to receive. So when you come
Exactly.
here on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m., I always say, come ready to receive. Turn down the volume of life for just a little while, for just 45 minutes to an hour, and just be ready to receive, so that when life speaks, you will be able to speak life. And I thank you, Trelyn, for the nuggets that you gave us tonight. Thank you for being with us tonight. And
Thank you.
periodically, listeners, you will hear me mention this project and keep you up to date as to what's going on and what you can do to support it. This is good ground. This young lady is good ground. And we want
Thank
to make
you.
sure that this dream, this vision that God has given her, if there's something that you can do to help it to come to pass, you don't want to miss it. You just don't want to miss it.
Thank you.
So that's it for us for tonight. Trelyn, thank you, thank you,
Thank
thank you.
you.
You know how much I love you. I am so glad that you were able to have the time to be with us tonight. And you
It was
guys,
an
come
honor.
back, come back. Don't let this be the last time that you visit When Life Speaks. We're here every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. So come back next week and join us. I don't know what we're going to be doing. I don't know what we're going to be talking about. I don't know who's going to be here with us, but you don't want to miss it. That part I know.
That part.
That part I know. So I hope you will be with me again next week at 7 p.m. for another edition of When Life Speaks. So good night, everybody. God bless you. Thank you for being here. And again, love you, Trelyn. Thank
I
you,
love
baby.
you.
Have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful week, everybody. See you soon.